a little bit more to do, and then my tomato garden is going to be done. Let's go take a look at it. This is in the dog kennel that Gary didn't want, and I pretty much got it all done. All the tomatoes are in. We're going to step inside. I'm going to tell you step by step what I did. Now, I have not done anything else as far as covering this dog kennel. This is the standard one. This one's from Kennel Master, but there's a lot of different brands, and they're all pretty good. For this, for gardening, they will work great. Now, all the totes are now completely set up. I'll go over each way how I did that because I did it on the cheap. See, look at this. Here is a bag of potting mix. Do you see what's gone? Nothing. I have all that to use somewhere else. All I did in there was use a handful when I planted my tomatoes because a lot of them came from the nursery or they were growing from seed here in potting mix. So I didn't want to put them directly into whatever soil I collected around here or compost and all that. You know how I make it. We'll get into that in a second. You know, if I forgot to say, this is Robbie from Southern California. But anyways, I use very little. So I've got that entire bag to do seedlings or whatever I want to do. Let's step inside. Is this not cool? I am so excited about this. It created my brain to go in a different way, sideways, to change some other things I have here in the garden. But I have got here 6 totes, 18-gallon totes. I get them from Walmart. If you can get them from Target, Lowe's, Home Depot, Wayfair, wherever you can find totes. Look around. Even the thrift store sometimes has them for a couple dollars. But I get them from Walmart, and sometimes I get odd colors for like under $5. It doesn't matter what I'm growing in. The plants don't care what the color is. It's up to you. I kind of laid it out where I thought it would be pleasant to the eye. And being that this is the rainbow garden, and boy, do I have work over there, I wanted to go with color here. So it's an extension of the rainbow garden. So these are the totes I already had. I didn't buy any more, but let me tell you, this has been a fun project. Now, I did plant them in different methods, and there will be some changes. Why did I show the soap container? Because I'm going to put peppers in here. So the next time we come back in here, it's going to look a little different. I've got a little bit of peppers in here, but I want to do tomatoes and peppers. Now, why do I not want to do squash or cucumbers or whatever? Because right now, as you can see, I have not covered this. This is really big, so the squirrels can get in here. And of course they can climb, and the only thing that can't get in there is rabbits, but you know what? They may be able to squeeze through that. I'm not sure. I will be covering this in tulle, and that will help keep out snails. But cucumbers, squash, different things attract different creatures that come here. They're not real big with tomatoes. Tomatoes is not their biggest thing unless they can't find something else. So at that point, I don't want to attract them in here. Look, a little tiny hoverfly. I don't know if you can see it. And they're pollinators. I don't want to attract them in here because I want to cover this a little bit. So it will be simply tulle. I'll take you with me when I do it. I can't live without tulle because at some point I will get attacked in here and I will be upset. So I'm going to get that covered. But here it's been sitting for about a week now. And it's over a week and they're doing fabulous. Now let's go over all this. This is not staying. This is, I'll just move it down here. That's potato mint, and I'm using that for layering. See the earthworms? Oh, looky, looky. Earthworms love to go under containers, but I want you to see this. That also is potato mint. I'm going to find other homes for it. Now this particular tomato is a black cherry. And we got that at the nursery, and I thought it was Gary's. And we got home, he said, I don't remember picking that up. I really don't need it. I said, hey, you don't need it? I'll take it. So it turned out the black cherry is mine. So I'm going to plant the black cherry here because I'm going to plant it directly in the tote here. And it's going to have a pitcher here. It's full of holes. I can feed it right out the door here. Then this is a volunteer, and I don't know what it is. And that's going to be good. And then here is the sun gold. Now the sun gold's going to have to go in a pot because there's 2 of them. And once I split it, it's going to tear up the roots. I'm not sure yet what I'm going to do with the Smurf. It might go in the pot, it might not. That one is a pear tomato that I planted. And that one is, I forgot what it's called, but that's a different one. So I'm kind of working out where the tomatoes are gonna go. I'm gonna get that done today, and then I'm gonna start to do other things in here, which are very important to me that a lot of you don't do, and I think you should. So I'm gonna jump in right now. As I was putting this video together, I went back and looked at the cuttings I did. The black cherry, I did 3 stems. And you know what? Yesterday, those roots were not there. I was checking, and this evening, they popped out. Look at that. That one's got a ton of roots. This one's got a few, and you'll see the tiny one, it actually has 1 root. I'll take it out in a minute. So Gary could end up getting a black cherry anyways, because I'm gonna pop these into a pot, probably a paper cup, so when we're ready to plant them out, it'll be really easy. There's 1 tiny little root, but that's a start. And there's one other thing I want to show you, and why I'm always screaming at you and myself. I took a little tiny baby food jar, you'll see it in a second, and what I did there was I put in 3 tiny cuttings and I didn't label it. I'm 90% sure these are sun golds. Yes, 90%. And look at that. Tiny little cuttings off the bottom. So there's something I wanted, but I'm pretty sure they're sun gold. Please label your cuttings and seeds. This plating is to me. So I went ahead and planted that there, and it needs a little bit more trimming on the bottom. It's just starting to touch the soil. You don't want the bottom leaves to lay on wet soil. But that one is in the container. We'll go back on this, why I'm planting them differently. You know what, let me put this back in case there's earthworms going in and out of this, because there are drain holes on the bottom of that. It's just here to layer until I get what I really want in there. Now this tomato is a sun gold, also bought at the nursery. It was 1 plant for $6, but there was actually 2 in there. I managed to separate the sun golds. They're gonna need a lot of babying. They've been in here for a long time, very root bound. So one's gonna go in this pot, and I think I'll set up another one in another pot, but one's gonna go somewhere else. I'm gonna have different tomatoes all through here. Coming along really good. Now I'm just gonna finish. I separated it. One's in my trough. You can go back and watch that video. And this one went in here, and it's in a flower pot. Now this pot has holes on the bottom. So once the tomato starts to grow, it can go onto the bottom, and I will be putting more in here. This one is a volunteer. Okay, now in the green tote, I'm going to go with this one. This tomato plant came out of the trough that is in the bird garden. And what I had in there were sun golds and cherry tomatoes. Now, it could be a hybrid or it could be a cherry tomato. It probably will not be a sun gold because those are hybridized. Those are made and you have to get it by the growers. I might take a little bit off there, but remember, you don't want to take too many of these off of cherry tomatoes because that is your tomatoes. You start taking suckers off, you're actually cutting off tomatoes because all this will grow your tomatoes. It's supposed to be full and bushy with the side shoots. Now, if it was a big tomato, like a big boy, that would be different. You want to just concentrate on the few that you're going to grow. But with cherry tomatoes, you can grow hundreds of them. So you don't want to take too many of the side shoots off. You really don't want to take any, but you know, some people take them and that's up to them. I do not. I let them grow wild just the way they're supposed to. And then you get all those tomatoes. All right, so I'm going to get this one in, and I want you to see the root system. I just cut this open. I could have left it in the carton and cut the bottom off, but I want you to see the root system on this. I planted this tomato, I think less than 2 weeks ago, and it's just beautiful. Took it out of the tomato trough, and it's doing really good. Well, let's get this planted. I have no idea what it's going to be. And again, another potato mint. I'm just, oh, look at the earthworms. I'm just layering them here because I went through my potato mint and I didn't know where else to put them until I get the rainbow garden set up. So this is directly planted, see, in the tote itself. That one is oh, well, let me tell you on this. This could be a sun gold cross. It would be a hybrid. It could be a cherry tomato because I was growing cherry tomatoes in there. Or it could be a cross between a sun gold and a cherry tomato. We will see, but look at the trunk on that. Isn't that really cool? So it's a seedling that came up in the trough. I moved it and now it's in here. Now these look like radish seeds. This is a pear tomato. Now this one I just took out is the pear tomato that I grew from seed from a pear tomato. Will it grow the same? I don't know, but I put the little tag there, but I'm gonna make something bigger tomorrow. So that's going to go in this hole. And I think I'm going to trim off some of the bottom leaves here. Yeah, I might go with that one too. I wanted to concentrate on setting more roots. You know what, for now, put that in there. And I'm going to get that buried in there. So that's doing really good. All right, let's get that one buried. Now that I planted. Now I didn't buy the seeds. They're from my pear tomatoes from last year. They look like pears and they're yellow and they're really pretty. So I went ahead and planted them. They grew and we'll see what this grows into. I have done this before and they have grown true. This one is the indigo cherry tomato. You know, this is, wow. I got to get the other one planted. This is the one she sold me for half price because it looked so bad and it looked like it was dying. And she said to me, you know what? If you want it for half price, go ahead and take it. I did not take the tomatoes off. Look how they've changed since I bought it. The plant was purple and struggling. See, this is what it is. Indigo cherry drop tomato. And I thought, you know, I'm going to give it a try. It's doing so good in there. Now, this is in here. We don't need this here. It's just sitting here. But look how good it's doing. Now, that's in the pot. Again, drainage underneath. There's many ways you can make holes if there's not enough holes in there. I use my flash fish with a soldering iron and I make holes that way outside. But I also have a step drill now. The drill bit, wonderful to make big holes and they're quick in seconds. I've been doing that a lot. So all these are growing differently. And then of course, this is what, Dancing with Smurfs. Yes. And this one had tomatoes on it. You know, a lot of people tell you to take them off. Nah, I'm not going to bother. Also in a pot, pretty good sized pot. It looks like it's about a 2.5 gallon pot. And then here are my peppers. And this is what I'm going to do, spot in peppers in their own container. All right, now, and this is the picture. This is composting in place, but in here. No rodents, no nothing can get in here. I have videos on this. This is a lifesaver when doing heavy feeding plants like squash, tomatoes, eggplant, anything that's a heavy feeder. Peppers aren't that much of a heavy feeder, but certain other plants are. This is going to work great in there. Okay, now, why am I doing this? I want you to see how they're going to grow with me. I have found that a lot of times, if you grow in a raised bed, in the ground, or in a tote, I love the birds, in a tote like this, 18 gallons, you're adding more soil in there by putting it in a pot. On top of that, when I water, I know 100% this plant is getting the water I'm giving it. Same thing here, and same thing here with this pepper in a Halloween pumpkin, plastic pumpkin. Look at this. It is getting all the water directly to the roots. I don't have to overwater. Whatever is left in there will go into the tote, into that soil, and it's going to be fabulous. It works really good. Here, I'll just show you for an example. If I was going to water this, it looks like it's going to the roots, and right now it probably is. But as the plant grows and other things start to grow around it, the water could end up being carried away, and it may not get all the water you think it's getting. It works really, really well to give it that extra step, to give it that lift. It has better drainage as long as you're using good soil and you're not making it too wet where it just sits. You don't want it to get waterlogged. But then as the plant grows here, where's the roots going to go? They're going to go down. They're going to go in here while I'm, composting, or let's say in here, the roots are going to be able to get nutrients from the bottom. So it's actually extra soil. It's giving it good drainage because it's up higher, lift. It just works so well, and it's getting water, especially in the summer when the days get hot. It is getting water really, really well. So this is why I'm doing it differently, because we'll see together if there's a difference. This one being straight in the tote, and then 1, 2, 3. So you got 3 planted in the tote directly and 3 planted in a flower pot above. We'll see together what you think. Does it make a difference? You do it the way you want. Here's another one, picture. Should they all have pictures? Yes, I show you how to do that in the video, to put a handful of soil and put all your leaves or kitchen scraps even, and then cover it up. You want a couple holes on top if there's divots in case water builds up on top so you don't get mosquitoes. But you know, you would see it and you would tip it out if there was. But this way I know if it gets on top, it goes directly in. And you want these watered because you're going to have microbes and earthworms and everything in those pitchers. Now, how did I fill these totes? Like I do all my others. This is the one I actually recorded so you could see it. And I'll drop it in now so you can see how I added in all the soil, basically free from around the garden, whatever I could find. Everything goes in there. Weeds, leaves, toilet paper rolls, kitchen scraps, whatever you've got. Then you kind of shuffle a little bit of the soil down. You can use your hand or a shovel, and then you cover the top. That's the other thing. Right now, this one is growing in mainly soil that's been collected from containers, a little bit of potting mix around the plant itself, and that's the way that one's growing. And then there is weeds on the bottom and other leaves, but basically on the top it's all, let's say, soil, compost. As it gets to the bottom, all that is still decaying because of the way I filled the containers. So even though it's breaking down, it's not going to slow anything down, because by the time they send their roots there, they're going to go where they want. They're not forced to grow in all that leaf matter, kitchen scraps, if they don't want to. They do fine normally, but let's say they're not forced to grow that way. When they send their roots out, they're going to go where they want. They want to go sideways. They want to go straight down. It really works fantastic. And then once it's all set up, when I first did it, I just came back out here, gave it all a good water, and then I stepped through here and decided what I was going to plant. We're going to see if the free plants do better than the purchased plants. That will be really interesting. I hope you're getting information from me on this. Let me back out. And I will bring you back when I tool it, because tooling is so important for a lot of us in the garden. If you are not in the city where you're completely protected, then you need to protect your plants, or you're going to lose too many. And I don't want you to get frustrated. I don't want you to stop gardening. And I don't want you to get misinformation also from other people and then you try it and step away. I want you to see results. When I don't get results, it's because I have got too much to do sometimes and I didn't come back and do what I needed to do. But here I've been really, okay, that's a lie. I was going to say I've been doing all this work, but you know what? Since I planted it, I've done nothing but come in here, grab a watering can and do a light watering and then step out. I am so fascinated on this plant because it just sprung to life. This is all new. I've been looking at it every day. We don't want any weeds in here, even if it's flowers. I still wonder what this is, because I want this plant to be really happy. I really thought that was a goner, and that being in a pot. That was another reason, I'll be honest with you, I put it in a pot, because I thought it's going to fizzle out on me. And when it does, at that point, I'm just going to pick up the pot and put a different tomato there. And obviously we are not. So we're going to get to see what indigo cherry drops are, because, well, it sprung back to life. Its brother or sister, the other sibling in the pot, is still struggling, but I didn't transplant it like I did here. This is exactly like I do these containers. The way I pack it in with weeds and everything. I mean, people say, oh my goodness, you've got so many weeds and you got to get them out. There's even weeds down there. Weeds, they send down tap roots into the ground. They pull up nutrients and vitamins and everything that plants need. Why throw it out? As they're decaying and breaking down, you throw them in the bottom of the pot, you cover them with soil. They are not making a comeback, and you grow and pull from those weeds to your new plants. And I've been doing it. It's free. I mean, you buy a bag of soil. This is what they've done. So why pay them so much when you can do it for free? Some of you have told me, I don't have anything. I don't have any leaves. You know what? As soon as you start growing, you're going to start having leaves. And every leaf that you have that is no good, if it's yellow, it's not coming back. So you start taking these leaves, anything that is not good for the plant, because it's not going to return green. All they can do is grow new growth. This is beautiful. We leave this alone. This is nice. Now we took this off. Now what we do with this, we drop it in there. We cover it up, and the microbes and the earthworms will get in there. Go watch a video how I make the holes in there. This is like a worm bed, a worm house. They love it, but it's got the microbes too if you don't have worms, and it works. So give me your comments. What do you think? And yes, after doing this and looking at it, I realized I've got to change the big dog kennel because there's a lot of wasted space. I didn't waste any space. This is going to be a vertical garden. As these tomatoes come up, I don't even need to stake them. I've got all this wire. I don't need much at all. I can use irrigation tubing, which would be easy to bring across my 1/2-inch irrigation tubing. And if I don't want to do that, I can even look over the top right now. Look at this. All I have to do is use yarn. I pick up yarn at the thrift store. Big rolls for $1. I don't even need any more. And you just string it, and we're going to tie up the tomatoes. We're going to let them go up. This is going to be so much fun. And like I said, in a pot, any of those 3 that are in pots, if they don't look like they're doing good, lift that pot up, move it somewhere else, throw out the tomato or compost it and put a new one and keep on going. And of course, you can always plant something else if you want. But here, I've decided for the first time to make a straight tomato garden, just growing tomatoes in a dog kennel, using all the sides as a vertical garden. I'm so excited it's done, because now I can get to work on the other stuff I so desperately need to do. So with that, have a wonderful day. Don't forget to eat what you grow, and tell me, what do you think? Do you think this is going to be really cool? And actually, it doesn't look that bad. I was looking at the colors at first and thought, it's not the colors I wanted, but you know, the totes were so cheap. I had bought so many, and now it looks pretty good. And you'll see there's going to be peppers all through here, because peppers are not invasive. You wouldn't want to put parsley in here. You wouldn't want to put celery, but this is going to be perfect because there's certain plants you don't want to put in a tote with other plants. So with that, have a wonderful day again. Don't forget to eat what you grow, and I'm going back to work to now get busy in the rainbow garden. Bye-bye.